Hi, so this is the Golf FM trip to the Masters. This is my first trip to the Masters, never been before. It is possible to do, it is expensive, but you can go. When I say it's expensive, it's not like unattainably expensive, but it is slightly sore, but it can be done. And I think if you're into golf and you're into the Masters, then it's worth it. It's worth every penny. We flew from Edinburgh to Heathrow, missed our connecting flight to Charlotte and had to stay an extra day, which was annoying. We had a day in between, so we still managed to be there on the Monday, so that was something at least, but that was a bit of an annoying start to the trip. So maybe always build in a day in between in case you do get a delay. Picked up a hire car in Charlotte, drove to Columbia. That took about an hour and a half. Massive trucks flying up the side of you at 80 miles an hour, undertaking and all that sort of thing. So beware of that. The trucks in America, for the lorries, seem to just drive at unbelievable speeds. Never seen anything like it. So we stayed in Columbia, Hyatt Place in Columbia. Pretty nice hotel, it was fine. Columbia's quite a quiet place. Really safe feeling, slightly boring place if anything, I would say. Sorry, I've just absolutely slated Columbia there in front of all the Colombians. Right, when I say boring, what I really mean is, digging myself out of a hole here, there weren't any people around. It was as though COVID was still on. There was hardly any people. There was these massive skyscrapers, really big buildings, nice city centre, and like about 3 people walking about, and there weren't even that many cars going about either. So I don't know where everyone was. Maybe all at the Masters, I don't know. But anyway, perfectly nice place, enjoyed being there, but lacked a bit of atmosphere. I'll tell you what was nice was the State Capitol building. Really impressed with that. Unbelievably nice. Anyway, sorry to any Colombians that are offended by me saying it was a little bit boring, but I don't know what I was expecting. Anyway, God, dug myself in a hole there. We did also visit Charleston, which is about 2 hours away, on one of the day off. That I would highly recommend. Seriously nice, seriously nice. Just old time America, trees all coming over the avenues and streets and old wooden houses and really nice shops and just nice. Just really nice feel about it. I would go back there in a heartbeat. Sorry again to Columbia. So, the Masters Monday. Let's have a look at the video. So this was us driving into the Masters. This is really close to the Masters. This petrol station is just literally opposite the entrance to it. And we got picked up there by the guy as well. So that was a really good system. You drive in the morning to a ticket collection point, park your car there, get in the shuttle, and they take you down to the Masters and then pick you up at the end. So that worked really well. You can actually park at the Masters as well. I'm not so sure how easy it is to do public transport and that sort of thing. We were recommended not to do that, so we just stuck to the hire car idea. This is walking down, this is just set foot on the property, you're walking down to the entrance. On the Thursday, this road was completely jam-packed. You were moving about 1 mile an hour down here, and I thought the practice day was busy, but the main tournament day took it to another level. So this was quiet, and that's where you go in. That's the entrance to where you go in. You show your ticket there and you go through security, and they take just about everything off you at that point. So if you had a phone, if you were foolish enough to turn up with a phone, it would be taken off you. But they have a good system. You can put it in like a wee hut and take a ticket and pick anything up that you weren't allowed in there, like guns and spears, knives, bows and arrows, that sort of thing. You can leave them in there and pick them up when you're finished. That was heaving on the Thursday. And then this is the first walk in once you're through the gates, and this is up towards the practice ground. The bits where you see them doing interviews on Sky and that sort of thing, that was up the left of this stone thing, whatever that is. And this was the practice ground, which actually I found out later on, this practice ground is for the players only. The members have their own practice ground, they don't even use this one. But it just looked unbelievable. And immediately you're just met with a sort of perfection as you go down there. It just looks, everything just looks immaculate. That's me staring at a player, hitting some bunker shots. I don't actually know who that was. I can't even remember who it was. I can't really see who it is now. So if anyone can tell me who that is, put it in the comments. And that was just to sort of prove that I was there. That's the practice ground area, which is permanent in there, the stands. Just again, just looks so nice, and these pros just look as though they have the absolute perfect life, hitting shots at the Augusta practice ground, ready to go out and play in the Masters. Literally nothing better than that. This is walk through to the first hole with the shop on the right. I'll come back to that. 10 times, 20 times busier than that when the tournament was on, sorry. That's the main Masters scoreboard there. This is nearly on the first. It just looks amazing. I had to take footage of just the grass, which you'll see in a minute, because it just looked so perfect. I don't know if it stays perfect this little bit here during the tournament, but it looked perfect, and it almost looked like AstroTurf. It just looked amazing. And so this is sort of like the fulfillment of a lifelong dream here. Well, actually we did playing in it probably would have been fulfillment of a lifelong dream, but yes, second best thing. Don't know what all these bits are. I think one of them's the butler cabin, where they do the awkward presentation of the jacket ceremony, which I love. And that's a 10th, just pointing out holes now. So you may as well just be watching this on TV. So that's the 10th. Again, the 10th impressed me so much with the fall-offs and everything. The overriding thing that I thought about the golf course was what an unbelievably good bit of land it is to have a golf course on. The undulations and the topography are just brilliant. It's the furthest thing away from flat that you could get. I don't know if there's a flat lie for hitting a second shot at any point in time. You're either going up slope, down slope, side slope, I don't know how you do side. And you're forced into playing awkward shots non-stop, and the runoffs on the greens with everything just short grass round about it. It's like there's no rough round the greens for miles, and the ball just runs away the minute it's slightly offline, it catches the slope, it's just gone. It's like 40, 50 yards away, no problem. So it just looked really difficult, and some of the tee shots look quite intimidating. The way that the fairway's tilted, like on the second, there's a bunker on the right, which like the size of a green, and then it just falls away to nothing over the sort of hill, it looks like, from the tee, and it's slanted this way, and it looks awkward, but it looks brilliant. Yeah, the setting's just unbelievable. I mean, on paper it's just trees and stuff, and there's no mountains in the background, there's no rivers and stuff like that. But it just looks incredible. It really does. It looks every bit as good as it does on TV, and then a bit more when you're actually there. So this was the 18th tee, some caddies having a wee chat about things, and this was me waiting for Tiger to come through, and here he comes, and the tees were up where he is now, and I thought, oh, at least I'll get quite close to him, but no. Wasn't far enough back. Had to come back here with Will Zalatoris and set up just right in front of me, ready to hit a shot. So of all the players that I wanted to see, Tiger was the one. I wanted to see Tiger at the Masters, and this was job done right in front of my face. The only other guy I really wanted to see was Rory, and after that I've seen them all, not that interested. Jordan Spieth, I like him. There's a lot of players I like, but I've seen them a lot. Just a bit of silence there for Tiger to hit straight up the fairways, tiny little fade, lovely shot. So disappointed with his third round, but at least he made the cut. There's a guy high-fives his mate here. So pleased to see Tiger. Good on him. And then 13th from in the woods. Just looks, Amen Corner just looks unbelievable. Oh yeah, this was the toilet. I wanted to get every aspect of the Masters. And do you know what? I was a wee bit disappointed they're starting to run out of toilet roll there. Just as well, it was only a number one, and it isn't, and you know, didn't show that obviously. Great system for the toilets though, really good. There's guys in the toilets, people helping you out saying, queue for the cubicles over there, stalls over there as they were calling them, or the one guy was saying, number one's over there, number two's over there, and it must be the one place on earth where the men's toilets have a much bigger queue than the ladies. So you do have to queue for the toilets at times, which is just a new experience for me. Anyway, I was quite happy with the toilet experience, to be honest, at the Masters. This is me at the 13th, just again proving that I was there and it wasn't just sort of taken from Sky footage. Well, this shaky, you're never going to think it's a professional photographer, to be honest. And that's me at the 12th again. And that's the 11th, just pointing out holes as usual, just basically watching my home movies here, is what you're doing. Oh yeah, that's a bank of phones that you can call anywhere from. So they stop you taking phones in, but then they give you free phone calls to anywhere in the world. You could have called somebody on the moon there and spoken for about 3 days, and the Masters just, yeah, fine, crack on mate. Don't take your phone in though. So you just go in there, type the number in, and away you go. And we had a good old chat, a good old chin wag with people back home saying, yeah, that's us at the Masters. So yeah, quite a funny little quirk of the Masters there, the phones. 14th, amateurs would just run off the front of that green all day long. The pros don't, because they know it's like the stupid shot to hit and they always miss it long or whatever, but the runoff at the front of 14 is just angry. It's horrible. I mean, good horrible. Then the food. So the food is quite unique at the Masters. It's all the same. You're not allowed anything different at any point in time. It's all packaged with Masters on it. I'll go and get some to show you. This video is going to be about 7 hours long if I'm not careful. Trail mix. Look at that. Uneaten. Brought home for the Masters. Didn't fancy it. Didn't eat it. But everything's packaged like that with the Masters logo on it. And it's dirt cheap. You've probably heard that before. It is dirt cheap. Apart from the beers, they were about $5, $6. Well, they were $6, which is not like over the top, and especially for a golf tournament. That's what you pay probably in a restaurant in America anyway. I think anyway, it was the last time I was there. Maybe it's gone up now, and that is cheap. But the key thing is you get to keep the cups. You get to keep every cup that you have a drink from. So the green ones are beer ones, and I'll show you on the way out. You can tell who's been having a wee bit of a kick at the ball, as it were, and isn't driving home, hopefully. But yeah, the food's really good and cheap, although is it overrated? I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to say. It's $1.50 for the famous pimento cheese sandwich, and it is basically two white bits of bread with some sort of paste in the middle, which has got like cheese and like red pepper bits in it, and it's got a bit of a spice to it, and that's it. I mean, it's like you've gone away on a school trip and you've thought, right, I've got 30 kids to get sandwiches ready for you. What can we get? Right, I'll tell you what, get that cheese spread, slap that on. Right, come on, keep them coming, keep them coming. A few of the sandwiches like that, and the club sandwich, for example, was just like round turkey, a square bit of cheese, and some sort of paste underneath, all squished down flat. And yeah, it's not like culinary delights and handmade and all that, because when you go to the Open and things like that, there's food by the dozen, and it's all different, and it's all bespoke, and it's fancier probably than this, but you're paying through the nose for it. Through the nose. What do you want? Do you want this really good system where everything's ready and you just take a drink that's already ready, and then another one's getting poured and put, and it's all packaged nicely and you're in and out fairly quickly, although you do have to queue a bit? Or do you want to pay through the nose for it and wait ages in the freezing cold and wind? Take your pick. I liked the Masters food, I enjoyed it, but possibly some of the stuff's a wee bit overrated. So there's the pimento cheese, crisps, water. There's the cups, the famous cups I was on about, and that table even had the Masters logo in it. Sensational attention to detail. There's me and the other half that went with me, who wasn't quite as blown away by this as I was. So it's a wee bit, she was a wee bit like, don't really know what all the fuss is about. And I said, you better keep that to yourself. I've just said it in national television there, but it just feels a bit like a golf tournament. I said, yeah, well, yeah, you seriously need to keep that to yourself. It's not quite grown up with the same sort of frenzy that I've had with golf. You know, this is the first major I ever watched, was Faldo winning this. And, you know, ever since then, it's just been this sort of dream world that you've watched on TV, and to actually be there was like, I won't hear a bad word about it sort of thing. But, you know, if you were being realistic, you know, the food isn't like Michelin star, and it is just a golf tournament at the end of the day. That's not what I think, but, you know, you could say that. So that was the second, yes, the second, Crossing the Fairways. Crossing the Fairways is one of the best things, actually, because you got to see the player's view suddenly. You're sort of looking up the hole as they see it. So the closest you get to actually playing it. That's the 18th. Couldn't get near that on the tournament day. Everybody set up shop around there. But yeah, I mean, the awkward little runoffs at the side of there, I really noticed again, just so difficult if you miss the green, just up and down a little slope, and short game has to be so good. There's a picture of me just staring inanely at the camera for some reason. I'm not sure quite why I was doing that. Again, think to prove I was there. Lathabal hitting practice putts on the 9th. 9th does look mental. Just the way it runs away. It looks every bit as hard as it does on the TV. I think the TV actually does a reasonable job of showing what it looks like. Now, this is in the food places again. There's that picture with the cups all ready to go, so you never had to sort of wait for ages for anyone to pour anything. It was kind of just ready, and they hadn't been sitting there that long either. And you could kind of take one from the back if you kind of thought, oh, I don't know, they might not be fresh. You know, like the head on the beer had gone down, just take one of the ones with the fresh one. Leave the other one for someone else. Sorry, maybe I wasn't meant to do that. Anyway, so that's the pork pulled sandwich or something. That was another little cookie. They were quite nice. That was a bit weird, the moon pie. I think it's famous to the area and that sort of thing, but I wasn't a massive fan of that. Popcorn was alright, I think. Iced tea. And again, kept those cups. Started to do a little bit of shopping at one of the little satellite shops, which had massive queues for them as well. There's about, I think, maybe 2 or 3 other shops in little sheds almost dotted around. We got these couple of things from there to start with, and the prices are all pretty reasonable. I would say it's cheaper than the open prices. I think the open prices are a bit of a rip-off. This is me picking something up because it's slightly dropped over and you just feel like you cannot leave a mess, you cannot put a foot wrong, or potentially a sniper will take you out. I mean, you're not allowed to run for a start, everyone knows that, and I dread to think what would happen to you if you started running or shouting out mashed potato or light the candle. I really don't know. Nobody did it. Didn't see it. I actually broke into a run for about 2.5 seconds and realised the stupidity of my actions and calmed myself down. Nobody spotted me, but I could have taken a bullet to the leg or anything at any point in time. So that's the 7th. The 7th looked really angry, the green. It just looked unputtable almost. And the view up the fairway of the 7th looked amazing. It really stood out as looking absolutely brilliant when I walked across that. Didn't expect that. So yeah, that was impressive. 16th, yeah, this was good fun. They were all getting the players to skip the ball across the water. You actually get hats that say skip it on them because people just shout skip it, and nobody gets away without trying to skip it on the practice ground as far as I could see. I think you get booed off the course if you didn't do it. So I think somebody got up onto the green there and they were all clapping. That is just amazing, that setting. A really popular spot up on the hill just to sit and watch. Although you can't actually see the tee shot from up on the hill there. Lots of sitting areas, and this worked really well, and I think they should maybe employ this sort of thing at the Open. They should sell chairs at the Open and maybe try this. I don't know if it would work. People maybe get frozen to death, I don't know. But when people are sitting at the front, down low, that was Tommy Fleetwood there chipping at the 4th. When people are sitting down low, you can see over the top of them. They're right in the front and loving it. But you also feel like you're pretty much right at the front. You're like 3 rows back because there's people sitting in front of you. So it works really well. Tommy Fleetwood, yeah, chip in there on the 4th. That's a really hard hole from the back tee. 240 yards to just this green that would just make a fool of you if you tried to putt at any point on it. You know, the reward for hitting a 240 yard shot is that you get to maybe 4 putt or 5 putt. Thanks for that. As I say, I wasn't that bothered about watching the players or who was there. I just wanted to see the holes. I think I got round every single hole. What was that? Cheese things. They were a wee bit weird, to be honest. Russel Henley hit at the 4th on his own. I think he went in the front bunker from memory. But on the tournament day, they played that hole from way forward. They didn't play it till the last day. Oh, this is me looking up at the Eclipse. It was the day of the eclipse, and I actually did get a good view of it. And they gave out these glasses, these Masters glasses, which I think are now collector's items because they won't happen very often. This was again another evidence of me. And what green is that? That's the 3rd green. Just realised that's the 3rd green. I watched that for a bit, especially on the Thursday as well. Nick Dunlap, is that his name? The amateur that won a tournament? Probably got his first name wrong there, but he was in a wedge shot onto the 50th. That just looks so difficult. The wedge shot looks difficult because you're on a downhill slope. 13th, yeah, nice viewing point over there. Lots of big stands up there. Good place to go. And you see the 14th tee off shot as well from that area. This is Shipley hitting off the 14th, playing with his mate Nick Dunlap, who he beat in the US Amateur final to get there, and then Nick Dunlap went on and won the tournament and got there, so made up for his loss in the amateur. Again, just immaculate. The whole thing's just amazing. Again, little shot of me just again proving that I was there. I just wanted proof that I was there. I didn't want just pictures of the golf course. I wanted me to be in it, no matter how stupid I looked. Yeah, the 13th looks amazing. This is the 12th, 11th. It's amazing how downhill the second shot, the 11th, looked. 10th, again, just such a difficult green. the way it runs off, just so hard, really high up. Again, me sneaking at the picture. That was a golfer of some description hitting up the 18th, and I don't know who it was. Lots of crowds. It was even busy that day, as I say. This was the queue. Actually, that was the queue to get your photo taken at the clubhouse. You actually had to form a queue to go round and get your picture taken by professional photographers, and you're thinking, oh god, here we go, what a racket this is. Professional photographers, I just want to take a picture myself. And you were in fear of your life as well there. They were shouting at you, under no circumstances are you allowed your own personal camera. And you're thinking, you know, this is supposed to be fun, you're making me frightened here. So you get up onto the roundabout and they take a photo, and the guy says, there's a QR code on a card, just scan that tonight and you get your free photo downloaded. So after all that queuing and fear, it was free. That was the sort of paradox of the Masters. It was like, they're really nice to you, but they're really strict with other things. Like, it's cheap for food and it's a free photograph, but don't run or you'll get chucked out. It's a funny combination, but it's good in its own way. I mean, it gives it character. And I got to tell you, when I go to the Open next year, I'm going to run virtually the whole time I'm there. Run around drinking pints and eating hot dogs. This was the shop. Now, the shop, when we went in, was probably about 45-minute wait to get in this main shop. I saw it on other days where the queue went miles further back than when we started. It must have been like an hour and a half to get in it, at least. And then when you get in, you think, oh, I'm in. And then you get met with this, going round in circles. And wait for it. Look at that. All the way down there and then back up that way. You're still not in. It was unbelievable. Never seen anything like it for a shop that's open only for this tournament. And they don't sell online, and that's me coming out. They don't sell online, so you've got to make do while you're there. And so people are just in a frenzy. I mean, I spent more than I would ever spend in a shop like that going to a tournament, and it still wasn't a fraction of what was going on around me. So I'll show you some of the things I got. So I've given some of it away. I did buy a wee bit more than this, but this was like $35, so that's nothing. That's fairly cheap. That would be more expensive at the Open, miles more expensive at the Open. I think about $25 to $30 for caps. That was my wife's one. That was one I bought. Got these putter covers. These were really nice. But again, $25 I think it says. Yeah, $25. Really good quality. They could have charged anything they liked for these things. Rescue cover, placemat, drinks mats. Tiny wee putter for no apparent reason. Don't know what it's for. Thought it was maybe like you unscrewed it and it was a pen or something, but it isn't. $18 though, but just felt it had to be done. Just a novelty thing. Don't know what the point of it is. And then really nice little marker set, which I don't think I'm ever going to open. Sit in the box. And a nice bottle opener. And then final wee thing is. So they've got really nice stuff. I mean, clothing wise, there's quite a lot of wee glasses. Clothing wise, there's tons of stuff, hats, everything. It's everything under the sun. I mean, it's a brilliant shop. I actually quite like shopping, if I'm being honest, but I didn't really enjoy this shop. It was just too frantic, too much of a frenzy, and I was just glad to get out of it, to be honest, in the end. It was good to get the stuff, but it was a bit of an effort, to be honest. But yeah, really good shop. I mean, just proper, like you're in a department store or something. Just huge, really big. So, and this was on the way out, and you can see this guy's had quite a lot of beers. He's double-sided it, and quite a lot of beers in there. I was driving, so yeah, my green cup count wasn't high. And this boy, I'm not sure, is he holding them? You know, if people just said, oh, go and you just take these because you've got this wee mobile that you're on, go and just hold all our cups on there. Or has he had all those, and should he not be driving that little mobile, I ask you. But anyway, and this is just the walk out, sort of saddest part of the day. You don't really want to go home. But I knew it was coming back on Thursday. I just knew this was the last of the filming that was going on, because you can't take your camera anywhere near the place. That was the way out. And then that's the wee hut where you keep your technology if you forget it. So that's it, really. Is that all I was going to say? I think that is all I was going to say. Thanks for watching my little video on the Masters. Maybe it's whetted your appetite to go yourself, I don't know. As I said at the start, it's not an unobtainable thing. You can do it if you want to do it. Maybe for some people who never thought they could do it, or thought it was impossible somehow to go, maybe you should look into it, because it is doable. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks again.